Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast. How's it going, Mike?
Going good. Good to be back. Summer is in full swing as we record this, June 24th. Not too hot today, but hot enough. How has the start of your summer been?
It's been good. A little stressful. Like
Yeah.
as a lot of I'm moving soon.
Hmm.
A lot that plan has been kind of pushed back by a couple weeks. So
Uh,
just buying the house, home buying stuff is always stressful. So but that's
yeah.
we got a new schedule now, so we're just offset by 2 weeks. So right now everything's like most everything's packed up except
Hmm.
for like the necessities from day to day living.
Yeah, that's not too bad. If it's only like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. That's literally by law the extent of delaying this. So yeah.
Hmm. That's the most they can mess around. But yeah, things are good. It's funny. I went to grab some water before we started, but I saw that I had one more Sam Adams summer
Oh, there
ale
you go.
left in the fridge. So I'm doing this under the mild influence,
Right
which
on,
is
man.
always makes for a good show, honestly.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, things are good. This coming weekend, Jane and I are going to the Glam Metal Festival at the Meadows,
Oh,
which should
cool.
be fun. Yeah. This band Wanted is playing, who are really good, and then there's this band from Philly called Breaker, who are we've seen like twice before. I've seen them like twice before. They're really good. Um, and the headliner is Ted Poley of Danger Danger. Danger Danger was never one of my like favorites or anything, but they got a couple tracks. It'll be interesting to see what that's like.
Yeah. Do you remember when Faster Pussycat played at St. Vitus?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, yeah, I like them. I mean, they have like two
Yeah.
or maybe even three really solid records, in my opinion.
Yeah. I did. Were you at that show? I went with Thorns.
I don't think I went. Yeah, I don't. I remember when it happened. I remember wanting to go, but sadly, I missed it.
Yeah. Thorns and I went, and
Mhm.
they were fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, Thorne's a friend of the show. He's a part of the contingent that loves, death metal, black metal, hardcore, and hair metal. It's a small group of us, but it's a small but proud group. You don't really get a lot of people that like all of that in one salad, Mike Hill. You know?
I'm like real selective about those types of bands that I like. You know what I mean? Like obviously Rat, Dokken,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
those guys are good. Cinderella, I think, is a good band.
Absolutely. If anyone's been paying attention to my Facebook, which is Brooklyn Bastard 777, hint hint, I've been posting a lot of my records, and this week has been kind of like a hair metal week of sorts. Some of my hair metal gems, and a band that I've always backed, as you know, is Bang Tango. I have their first two records on vinyl, and of course, L.A. Guns, who I know you're a fan
Oh
of.
yeah, yeah. Especially the first LA Guns record, man. That record's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah, that went up today. A lot of people love that record, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I Some of those bands they just do it for me. And then some I never really fucked with. Danger Danger would kind of be one of them, and like I never really fucked with like Britney Fox. I never really got too into them. And definitely a handful of like Keel. Like I never get into Keel,
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah. That's a
Or
deep cut.
yeah, yeah. Um, but what's funny is like Jane is into like Lizzie Borden, and I was listening to their very first record, and that's fucking really good,
Dude,
actually.
Lizzie Borden is kind of like, I would say early Lizzie Borden is like on that cusp. That kind of like
Hmm.
that Wasp is on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's heavy metal. It's
Yeah, it's
really
heavy
heavy
metal.
metal.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Wasp and early Lizzie Borden, I feel like we're in the same, atmosphere.
Their first two I was checking out, and that's very good. Like I completely slept on that band for a long time. So, any of the listeners out there who are a bit more musically adventurous can back me on how decent those records are.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good records.
Totally.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff I just never really. It just I don't know, like it slipped in between the cracks for me. I think at that point,
And then like on the flip, I've been listening to like Revenge.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, I'm on a big Revenge kick. And Pro Fanatica and like yeah. So the complete opposite spectrum. And still kind of like Deicide from seeing that show. I was on like a big Deicide high from seeing them back in like the middle of May. And they've just been getting like this love fest on like Instagram, I've noticed, and YouTube and Facebook, and always happy to see that.
It's funny. There was the thread on the Facebook Messenger with the
Mm.
Horsemen, where
Mhm.
just well, when you guys listen to this, it's going to be a couple weeks old. But like, there was the episode with Devo on Jackie's Into the Necrosphere,
Yes, which was
where
great from
yeah,
Marduk. Yeah.
yep, and his reference talking about Kiss,
Hmm.
and I feel like it's like guys like in our age group, maybe dudes in their late 40s into their 50s. If you,
Yes.
it's that's like the love for Kiss, I think is sort of in our group, our set, and like the guys that are like a little bit younger,
Mm.
it doesn't really they don't have the same sort of like affinity for that band. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that. Okay, there's that magazine, Bardo Methodology, right?
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
covers death metal and black metal and some esoteric stuff. And I think what the guy who runs it at one point said very recently that the one band mentioned the most out of every single interview and every single issue done is Kiss.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
the most mentioned band name out of every issue and interview he's ever done. So there you go. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like at the time they came out, in our lives, like when I was like a young kid, that was like some of the first heavy metal I heard, man. And it's
Sure,
like,
sure, yeah.
that was like, and it had that outrageous like, look and the fire, and they were characters, and you really knew what they looked like, and and I was obviously into comic books and horror and all this stuff. It
Yeah.
all kind
Mhm.
of fed into it, and then the songs, like the songs that pop out to me are like Parasite and like God of Thunder and like
Hmm.
and then all the hits. You know what I'm saying? Like really, I didn't. There weren't too many bands. There was no bands that really sounded like that either.
No, I mean, I've never heard of a band that came after Kiss and went, yeah, they sound just like Kiss. Like, not really, right? I mean, there's inspired
Yeah.
bands, like, you know what I'm saying? But like sonically, not really. They're kind of very singular band, in my opinion. But um, it's funny. I I never had a whole bunch of the Kiss trading cards, but the one that I did have, and I may even have it somewhere, is this very stark one of Gene covered in blood that was like cemented in my head. And it is like a very dark image of Gene
Yeah.
Simmons with blood. And it is kind of proto black metal, really. It's
Sure.
proto
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not black metal, but it is black metal. Like, it's very dark and evil looking photo of him.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Um,
that the makeup definitely influenced
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
that. Especially with the
And
earlier guys,
and you mentioned Wasp, like watching the "I Want to Be Somebody"
dude.
video. It's just like that is also extremely proto black metal,
You
like
want to know something funny,
visually,
man? When I see Watain, I think of Wasp,
100%.
like
Yeah,
live, like their
wait,
whole live thing to me reminds me of Wasp.
absolutely. I mean, and there are other bands that have definitely flirted with that too. But like at the end of that video, when Blackie spins his head like that and he fucking pours the blood, like it's black metal before black metal
Yeah.
happens in a way. It's kind of crazy, right? And of course, a lot of people in black metal love the early Wasp records, and with good reason.
And there was nothing like pretty about them either. Like they were these fucking men, you know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah,
were like,
no, like
yeah,
they also got lumped into hair metal when
no,
they were heavy metal. Like they were not. I don't know. It's a whole thing about them. Like some of the later maybe, but visually they never looked like Poison or anything.
no
They were
way.
still very heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just lumped in with it because of the LA thing and heavy metal thing. But yeah, kids, there was your musical discussion of the episode, as we
Right.
always do, I feel like. And I think people
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, dude. And also just influenced by Into the Necrosphere. We were like,
Yes.
checking out, like just responding to some of the stuff that Jackie was talking about and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
expanding on it.
I did another action-packed news rant the
Yeah,
other
oh
week,
yeah, that's right. Yep, yep, that's right. Yeah,
which was
congrats, man.
fun.
Cheers.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. I love the Q&A portion, which is always fun. Um, so yeah, thank you all for checking that out. And I guess while we're at it, we can get into the Horseman shoutouts real
That's
fast.
right. That's right. So kicking everything off every other Monday, we've got Brandon Legion's Horror Wolf 666. And Brandon and I are doing our Black Lodge collaboration, which is in full swing right now.
That's right. On Tuesday, why it's into the Necrosphere with the awesome Jackie Smith. And yes, of course, plug, plug. Sometimes I join in on that news rant and have myself a time. But all of your heavy metal, death metal, black metal, the good shit needs are met on Into the Necrosphere and some excellent interviews as well. Mike mentioned Devo, formerly of Marduk, who gave a really cool interview this past week. You never know who's going to be on the show, which is always a treat as well. So, Into the Necrosphere, hit that subscribe button.
Wednesday is Everything Went Black, which is my podcast, as well as Iblis Manifestations, brought to you by Cheyenne of Trivax. Thursday, as well as being Necro Thursday, which you're listening to right now, is day one of Carl Hikara's Soul Knocks. So what's on Friday, Mike?
Friday, why it's Spitball Media with my very own brother John Draper and his shows and his co-hosts. I can't get it out of my damn mouth. B Show Brian and Shaheen for all of your let's see, streaming, television, media,
Pop culture.
pop culture needs. Make sure you're checking out that show. It is excellent. Spitball Media. Check them out.
Saturday's a day off. So now that in the north, at least in the northern hemisphere, it's summertime. So remember to put on your sunscreen and
Hmm.
wear a hat if you're, concerned about exposure to the sun
That
because
is
it's
true. Yes.
it's summertime. But on Sunday, Carl Hikara returns with day two of Soul Knocks. And as you guys know, if you've been listening, we're wrapping up our Darkness Weaves collaboration with the Bran McMorn, Robert E. Howard pastiche novel, Legions from the Shadows, which is Carl Edward Wagner's. That's the last piece we're going to be doing by Wagner. So we're
Oh
wrapping that
wow.
whole project up.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. Um, Little tidbit there. Did you see the impending Conan cartoon that's coming?
Oh yeah, man, that's good. That hopefully that's good. I'm looking forward to checking
I
that out for
know.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, as we know, sometimes things come out and they're not what we want them to be. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Have you checked anything else out, movie wise, or comics or books or anything like that?
Not too much. I'm a couple of issues behind on Absolute Batman. I literally buy them on eBay since my comic book store, um, the one next to the movie theater in Bay Ridge, closed, and I don't find myself in Park Slope that often, Galaxy. So I just buy them on eBay and kind of overpay for them a little bit with the shipping. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, catching up on Mad Men, a little behind on that. Jane and I did start watching, which we were enjoying, the Hulk Hogan documentary
Oh
on
wow.
Netflix, Mike, which is actually very good. I don't know if
Okay.
you're interested in that, but
I have a
I found,
passing interest in that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's solid. And they were literally making it right before he died. It was like one of those things that, I feel like when documentaries are made and then the person is literally the person sadly passes while it's being made or the moment it's finished, I feel like 9 times out of 10 they're better. And that's a terrible thing to say. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a
Yeah.
fucking terrible thing to say. but historically that has been the case.
I think
And it is really
you,
good.
I think you're onto something with that. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember there was that I watched that George Michael documentary that was literally being made right before he was about to launch his first major tour kind of comeback thing in a long time. And then he died. And then it came out after he died, and that was also very good. So, like, especially when it comes to like, like music or pop culture, people, like, I don't know. I feel like something happens in like the synergy where the finished product is compelling. I don't know. It's morbid, but it's true.
Hmm. Yeah. I could. I think you're onto something with that observation.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
What about you?
Um. Well, of course, House of the Dragon. The kickoff of season three was
Yes.
70 action-packed minutes. That was awesome.
Did you? So you liked it? I didn't watch it yet. I'm gonna get in there. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I thought it was awesome. It's a lot of action. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's all I'll say about it since you haven't seen it, but it's great. I didn't. I kind of took me a minute to warm up to the show, to be honest, and when it first debuted,
Hmm.
but
Okay.
but now I'm all in. Like it's to me, it's valid. It's like equally as valid as Game of Thrones. I mean, Game of Thrones had 9 seasons, so it took by the time that was in full stride, it was different. But this is like definitely a valid representation of that universe. I'm just pretty excited about it.
One thing I'm a little concerned with before I watch the first episode is my memory of where it left off.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, we'll just watch a couple
and
episodes of season
I,
prior.
I may have to watch the finale episode of season two, to be completely honest. Because HBO shows take a fucking minute to come back historically. They're never a year later. They're usually 2 years later, and
Yeah.
sometimes 3 years later.
Yep.
That's the best way to put it. So that kind of sucks for, you know, the old brain sometimes. But yeah, I'll get there.
My wife is a huge aficionado of the whole Game of Thrones world, so we actually rewatched the entire first 2 seasons before season three kicked off. So we're like right up to speed with everything.
Oh, nice. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Other than that, let's say I watched a found footage film called Project MK Hex. That was actually pretty good.
hmm.
It's very similar to Strange Harvest, like a movie that we covered last year.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a pseudo documentary. It's got like these kind of conspiracy, cosmic horror tie-in. Very very cool. I like when found footage films are more in that pseudo documentary space. I think
Hmm.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And other than that, just like I meant to tell you about this too. Lately, I've rediscovered the band Beast Milk.
Oh,
Do you remember
yes.
them?
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent band. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when they came out, like what, like 12, 15 years ago, maybe?
The Brooklyn Monster Factory was open when the first
Yeah.
album came out. There you
Right.
go. Yes. Long
And
time ago.
like I was, oh, that's pretty cool. But then I don't know, man. It's in the last 2 weeks, I just started listening to them again. And that I'm just really digging into that album Climax.
Yes. It is literally a perfect album. I think like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
dude.
it just hits all the fucking, marks. They should have been 10 times bigger, but they kind of imploded,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Remember that?
Well, they
Um,
also went on to do other band. Like there's a band called Grave Pleasures, which is basically the
yes.
same guys.
Right,
And then
right. Yeah, yeah.
now there's another band called Scorpion Milk, which is like,
Yes, I was going to just blind buy the Scorpion Milk on the
oh,
Peaceville website
it's good.
because a buddy of mine said it's awesome. So
Yeah. It's more of this, it's the same but different, as they say in Thailand. The
now Scorpion Milk is the singer on the first singer of Beast Milk, right?
Yeah, it is. And I believe
Okay.
it may be some other members, but it's like very it's like a little bit, I would say almost like a Killing Joke influence on it, you know,
Okay. Got it. Got it. They
especially
always
this.
kind of had a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the second song on that record is very Killing Joke. Just the way, I don't know, the
Mm.
drums and the guitar tones and all that stuff.
Yeah, now you're putting it in my brain to kind of pick up the remaining
I would get it.
vinyl from them
I would
and
get it.
get the Grave Pleasures vinyl. Yeah, that
And
stuff is
like
all really good, man. I
a
had the
bit
first press of the first Beast Milk.
a bit of a synchronicity with that too is like right around the time that I started listening to Beast Milk again. We went up to Vinyl Addiction in North
Hmm.
Arlington, New Jersey, which is like a great metal music store, music
Yep, I know the
record
owner.
shop.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Hmm.
do? Yeah. I
Yes, I
figured.
do. I have not been there yet, though. I met him 3 years ago at a goddamn, record thing that we did, like, flea market. And
Yeah.
this was literally, I met him before he opened the store, and then he
Okay.
opened the store, and I still haven't been there. I kind of suck. I got to go there.
It's sick. I spent like $200 there, and
Hmm.
like, but
Yeah.
I figured that guy. It's funny. Like I'm like, I talked to him for a minute too, and I was just like, this guy definitely knows people I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
Like,
he's mad cool. I can't
yeah.
remember which vinyl fair I met him at, but I met him 3, maybe even 4 years ago, and always solid.
So we're driving up to North Arlington and we're listening to Beast Milk. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, I have a feeling I'm gonna find this record here at this place. And she's like, no, they're not gonna have this record. This record came out like 20 years ago. And I'm like, mark my words, right? So it wasn't in the metal section, it was in
Hmm.
the rock section. So
Mm.
I went right to B, and sure enough, I found it.
Wow. Nice,
Crazy,
dude.
crazy, right?
It came out in 2013.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. So it was right after we had the store, but why do I remember the store being, I don't know, I guess maybe messing with my head or whatever.
yeah.
But that was actually when the comic shop we initially owned, my brother and I, was owned by the other guys. And I was still kind of going there to
Oh
get
yeah.
my
Hmm.
books. And maybe that's why I kind of remember the
Yeah,
Beast Milk record. But yeah, that could be why.
yeah. But yeah, huh, there. That's that was a nice Saturday we had going.
Fortuitous, as they say. That was fortuitous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, but so if you guys want to call us and leave us a voicemail, we would love to hear from you. Call us on the Necro phone at 908-913-0782, 908-913-0782. And we have returning caller and friend of the show, Mike from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Necro Hoods. It's Mike from Telford. I'm on the road here. I'm just pulling into my old hometown, so I hope I don't lose you guys. But that was a great episode today. Cat People. That's a movie I haven't seen since the 80s, easily. I didn't really love it that much as you guys, but it's probably about time for a rewatch. I know you guys don't go that far back that often, but it'd be cool to hear you guys do an episode on one of the old Val Lewton movies, like Isle of the Dead or Body Snatcher, Seventh Victim, one of them. Recently, we watched a couple of Lamberto Bava movies. I don't go that deep with him. I'm a huge fan of his father, and I know he helped with some of his father's movies, but I'm just curious. Obviously, Demons is probably the most famous one, and I haven't seen that in a while, but I watched his remake of Mask of Satan, and that was fucking terrible. It reminds me of why I don't watch fucking movies from the late 80s that much. And revisited Macabre, which this last viewing I didn't really care for that much either. I mean, it's got some shocking parts, but just there's no style. There's no style to that shit, really, at least for me. And that's probably because I'm always thinking about Mario Bava when I'm watching them things. But what's your take on Lamberto, and how deep do you guys go with him? And hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm taking my mom to the dentist tomorrow, and she had a real bad experience with the local dentist in town here. And it's got me contemplating small business demolition, if I'm being honest, because my mom is 70, and I just don't think people have respect for older people anymore. She was definitely mistreated at this place here, and I'm at least going to give him a piece of my fucking mind in person. I'm sure it's not going to do any fucking good, but I'm pretty fucking heated about the whole thing. So hope you guys have a better weekend than that. I'll be talking to you later.
Mike, thanks for calling in. But, for Christ's sakes, man, be safe when you're talking on the phone and driving your car.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need you to stick around, sir.
Yeah. But we're not opposed to going that far back, man. I mean, we're definitely I know Mike and you and I both own that Mario Bava box set. And
Yes.
yeah, so we're keen to do that. We that maybe that's a late summer fall thing because my box set's currently packed up right now, but we're into
No,
it.
totally. I mean, unless we wanted to cherry pick some that are on the streamers, because there's a bunch on the streamers of Bava stuff, and do a bit of a Bava summer, as I mentioned. You know, um, but at the same time, I know there's a bunch of new stuff we do want to tackle this summer. I'd like to tackle this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny, like Lamberto Bava, you know, decent, obviously solid director, but lives in the shadow of his amazing dad, which I guess is kind of a tough spot to be in. But he, Demons 1 and 2 are pretty great. I mean, 1 is amazing, 2 not so amazing, but still kind of fun. And I think we could definitely cover at least part 1 this year. So yeah, I would love to cover Demons, honestly.
We never did that, did we?
No, no, no. Um,
That's shame on us, man, because I love Demons 1 and I also love Demons 2.
yeah. What's another decent one? I can't think of it right now. Well, I was saying before the show started, he directed a rare early 90s giallo called Body Puzzle that I think I have the DVD of, actually, Mike, now that I think about it, somewhere in the collection. Um, and then in the early 80s, he did a pretty solid movie called A Blade in the Dark, which I also may own, which I always thought was a very cool song title. Don't steal it from me unless it's already been stolen. Um, so yeah, um, and he worked alongside Dario Argento on movies like Tenebrae and Inferno. And then of course Dario's connection with Demons also, they kind of worked side by side on that. So, legendary guy.
And wasn't Michele Soavi involved in Demons? Or am I wrong about
No,
that?
he's in Demons.
He's
He's
in it. That's
in
right. Yeah,
Demons.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, as an actor.
He's
Isn't
an
that
actor.
cool?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
yeah.
very small part, but he's in it. Yes.
Yeah,
And
so
I think
Mike,
he also was, as a younger dude, he also worked with the two of them, actually. He
yeah.
might have done some, smaller level movie stuff. Yes.
So Mike, there you go. I wouldn't mind covering some going back and covering some really old stuff too,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. We've been kind of in this like newer phase of things with the newer movies lately, but I'm always down to go back and do some classics.
Hmm.
Yeah. Up next, returning caller and friend of the show, Tavis from Pittsburgh.
What's up, guys? Davis, Pittsburgh. Show's been good, man. Just listen to the Cat People one, and that's a good one, man. I feel kind of overlooked, and highly recommend the original Val Lewton produced one to anybody who's never seen it. Very cool, black and white, atmospheric. Definitely worth checking out. But I checked out Backrooms, and definitely curious what you guys are going to have to say about that. I thought it was decent. I was entertained. A friend I went with did not like it at all. He thought it was too weird, and it's kind of dumb. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but it reminded me of Being John Malkovich mixed with that movie Cube for whatever reason. Those are the two that really came to my mind, but I enjoyed it. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, Mike, that show you did with Brad Kelly, you guys talking about like the sewers and stuff, made me think of this movie from 2013 called Septic Man. It's on Tubi, of course. Totally decent movie. Nice surprise, just kind of random watch and turned out to be really cool. Yeah, a lot of underground sewage stuff in that, so worth taking a look. And I want to give a shout out to my friend of yours, Mike and Telford. Great to see you, brother. Cool to, see you and the family taking the Anacene show. Nice to have you visit out here in Pittsburgh, man, and hopefully our paths cross much sooner than later. But show's been great, guys. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Right on, man. By the time this comes out, you'll probably have heard our Backrooms episode. And
Hmm.
yeah, so it's as you know, as everyone know, I thought Backrooms was awesome.
I gotta see it. Backrooms and Obsession are playing in Bay Ridge. I gotta get my ass over there. Uh, Heard more mixed things, I think, about Backrooms than I have about Obsession.
Yeah.
But I know they're both making tons of dough. Obsession is on track to be one of the highest grossing horror movies of all time, which is wonderful. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's again, Hollywood has lost the plot, putting out a lot of crap, and here we have horror movies made for a fraction of the cost, doing box office that a lot of Hollywood wishes their movies did. So there you go.
Yeah, Backrooms, I definitely could say it's not for everybody. It's
Hmm.
not to the extent that Skinamarink is not for everybody,
Right, right.
but similar in a similar way. If it's your bag, you're gonna love it.
Mhm.
And if it's not your bag, you're not gonna like it. Or you'll be bored at the very least, you know.
I've done very little like sniffing around about the movie, so
Yeah.
and I kind of want to keep it that way.
Well, I've been kind of a fan of the Backrooms whole thing for the last couple of years. He's not the guy who came up with it, but the Brad, what the hell's his name? Kane Pixels. He is like an expander of the universe, and he got the chance to make a movie. So, there you go.
So
Um,
Backrooms is going to hit HBO Max in late September.
oh, okay.
But what's the movie that's hitting HBO Max like this week? The big horror movie? Remember we talked about it? Oh my God, I can't
Um,
remember.
Not sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap. But it's a new one that has like a good buzz. I think it's A24. Oh well. But it's
Okay.
not Backrooms.
Oh,
Backrooms is coming a
was
little
it?
later this year.
Is it Hokum? Maybe.
Might be Hokum.
Yeah, that's a good
Let's
one
see.
worth checking out. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay,
Um,
this is going to bother me.
yeah.
I had to do horror coming to HBO Max. Right. Undertone is coming like
Oh,
this
dude.
week.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, great,
Yeah,
great, great.
yeah.
Undertone. There you go.
That's a good one. I've watched that twice already. So yeah, that's good.
Okay, excellent. I'm gonna be. I think
Yeah,
it hits Friday or something, or this sometime this week. So yeah.
yeah. Also glad you dug that interview with Brad Kelly over on Everything Went Black. Um, Definitely. I did not see Septic Man, so
Septic Man. Yeah, that sounds
yeah.
wild.
But if it has to do with confined spaces and stuff like that, having a confined space permit, I'm probably relate to it at on some level.
Hmm.
Yeah. But thanks for calling, and yeah, keep them coming, man. We're looking forward to talking to you guys. And also, I'd like to say, um, I love how we're bringing people together, man. Mike and
Oh yes.
Tatus, they met up when we played in Philly, and they're buddies. And Mike's up at the Anti-Scene show in Pittsburgh. I love it, man.
Yeah, I love that too. Very cool. And of course, everyone who sends us messages on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, thank you all so much for that too.
Yeah.
It's day 5 of a wave of terror and sudden and unexpected violence that literally has a stranglehold on the American public. Across 6 states, at least 15 victims have met their fates at the hands of the bloodthirsty killer that many are calling the Satanic Slasher. California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, as well as New Mexico and Colorado, have seen a trail of bodies, dismemberments, decapitations, and mutilation. Police now confirm that satanic symbols and graphic slurs were left at the scenes of the murders, often written in the victim's blood. In the next hour, we'll take you inside the killer's mind as we speak with a psychiatrist who's an expert.
So that brings us to this week's feature film, Psycho Killer. It's
Mhm.
another 2026 film.
Yes.
Yeah, directed by Gavin Polone. This is his first time directing a film.
Correct.
Uh, Written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who we all know wrote the screenplay for Necro-Favorite 7 in 8mm, as well as Sleepy Hollow and the other Fincher movie, The Killer.
Now that's mind-boggling.
Yeah,
That
yeah. This
he
guy
wrote
wrote.
this.
That's why I was so keen to check this movie out because Walker the screenplay.
Can we confirm this is the same man,
Oh
Michael?
no, dude, it is. I did no,
Are we sure?
I am
Okay.
100% sure, my friend.
Okay, I'm looking on Wikipedia. Okay, it's the guy.
It's the same
He's
guy.
born in
Yeah.
1964 from Pennsylvania. Got it. Okie
Yep.
doke.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the guy. Oh, this is the guy who's praised. Now we sung his praises that he
Yeah,
moved
dude.
to New York in the early
Yep.
90s and worked at Tower Records and yada yada. Okay, this guy. Okay, okay.
All
Yeah.
right. I have a lot to say about this, but we'll hold on for a minute, actually. So,
God.
the film is 91 minutes long, and it was released February 20th, 2026. And apparently, this was in development for 7 years.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And none other
A long time.
than Fred Durst announced that he was going to direct this movie.
Hmm.
Did you know that Fred Durst was a director? I didn't know that.
No, and I did not know that he was in the running. And then I learned that at one point Eli Roth was going to potentially produce it, and a lot of history that led up to the actual final making of this movie that was not officially greenlit until like 2023.
Yeah. Fred Durst just announced that he was directing it, like on
Oh,
like his
okay.
social media. I'm going to start doing that. I'm
Yeah, fuck it.
directing. I'm directing the Batman, the third installment of the Batman franchise. I'm
Mm,
announcing it right now on Necromaniacs.
I love it.
Yeah, we got a pretty lean cast here. A couple familiar faces. We've got Georgina Campbell as Jane Archer, the main character, and she's been in a bunch of stuff that is out there, primarily horror films. Um, James Preston Rogers as Richard Joshua Reeves, the satanic slasher.
Mm,
Malcolm McDowell, which he's a mainstay in films in general, but also a pretty big representation here at Necromaniacs. Of
yeah,
course, he played Alex in Clockwork Orange. He was in Caligula, and he was in Cat
cat
People, which we
people. That's right. We
recently
love them.
covered. Yeah,
The Caligula episode is coming, kids. Wait for that one.
definitely, man. I that's also another. I have that on Blu-ray too. So yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the rest of the people would kind of forgettable, really. So, oh,
Mm,
we had David Tomlinson as the state trooper.
yes.
All right, all right. So, uh, I had fairly high expectations for this film, based on
Mhm.
the fact that Andrew Kevin Walker wrote it. Okay.
Yeah, of course. And get this, friend of the show and my blood relative, John Draper, saw this in the theater, Michael.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, upstate. I barely realized that this had a small theatrical run, but it did. Yeah.
Mm.
He said there was three other people in there.
I do remember the theatrical run because it was playing in one of the AMC's around here.
Mm,
And for like a hot minute, I thought about going because all I knew about it at the time was I saw the trailer and it had that sick, like, mask and it was like satanic, and I figured, and it was written by the dude who wrote Seven and 8
right.
Millimeter. And I was like, all right, this has got on paper, this looks like something I'd be into, right?
Well, according to Wikipedia, it had little to no marketing prior to its release, kind of meaning that they just kind of put it in apparently some 1,100 theaters throughout the
Oh,
United
wow.
States. And it did manage to debut that particular weekend at number 11 uh, in the weekend that it played. I mean, I think it only ran for about 2 weeks, but the fact that it hit number 11 is kind of interesting, and that it was in that many theaters I have no clue.
But if you just look at the promotional materials and the trailer, right,
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yes. Like I saw the trailer on YouTube a little late in the game, and another friend of the show, Mike Jr., who I work with, said he saw the movie And I'm going to hold my tongue about his thoughts on it until later in the episode. But yeah, and then John Draper was talking about it, and I'm going to hold my thoughts on what he said about it. So yes.
Um, yeah, I started getting cold feet with this film in the very beginning days of it being out, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait till it's on some of these streaming platform, or I'll have to pay like $20 to go see it, and then
Mm.
how bad could it be? And then there was some of our associates that had seen it, and they were saying how it they weren't giving it a full hearted thumbs up,
Right.
kind of like a lukewarm, it's not bad kind of thing, or I didn't hate it or something like that. So I'm like, okay, let's take a chance.
And like the poster, I don't know, the poster makes it look like a different movie. It makes it
Yeah.
look cooler,
Oh
doesn't it?
yeah. Yeah,
Like
definitely.
it makes it look a little more interesting and a little more, I don't know, a little more like, wow, what is this about? And initially, and of course at the onset of the movie, I was almost expecting like, I don't know, I was expecting a very kind of different movie, a little more serial killerish, a little more cut and dry, maybe, but still kind of cool. And well, then it goes off into all these other directions.
I think that I would be really interested to see how a different director would have handled the movie, because I still maintain that somewhere in all this is like a decent script.
Yeah, like I thought I was getting like what was the movie that I liked that you and Jeff don't like?
Dude, that's an
Not History of
open.
Violence. The one, but the one that said that was like a mortician record set to move to a movie.
Oh,
Um,
in a violent nature.
yes, for some reason, that's kind of what I was expecting,
Okay.
especially maybe at the beginning of the movie. And it got a tiny bit of those vibes, and then it just no, it becomes no, it's not that movie.
Well, all right. So let's kind of get into some of the main points of this film.
Sure.
So, we got Jane Archer. She's a highway patrol officer, and coincidentally, she works with her husband Mike.
Yes.
They're both on the same police force there.
Hmm.
So we're out on the icy, wintry Kansas highways, and there's a dude driving around in like a black Challenger, Dodge Challenger. Just like, even that in and of itself is kind of funny, you know, um, frantically driving across, speeding, if you will. And he's got the whole like heavy metal outfit, long hair, dark shades, like leather jacket. He's driving a, black muscle car. So he gets pulled over by her husband, Mike. Okay. Now, the only that's missing is maybe they didn't have the money, but this movie really would have been really cooler if there was like legit like death metal or black metal music in it. You know what I mean?
Well, there's one Venom song which I was trying to figure out if
Well,
it was Venom or someone covering Venom, but
yeah.
I believe it was Venom, or I couldn't confirm that. But one little weird thing, I felt like as a husband and wife, he literally looked way older than her. She's like she looks pretty young to me. Like, you know
Well,
what I'm saying? Like almost like
I'm
a
a
new cop.
I'm considerably older than my wife, so
Okay, fair enough. But in a movie, I feel like you don't see a ton of that lately. It almost, I don't know. I was like, that's her husband, huh? I don't know. I was like, that's interesting. He looked like significantly older. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
yeah. So he pulls over the satanic motorist. And the whole thing about that is like, he's got this his voice is like the pitch is dropped in it, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
he's so the guy pulls over before the lights go on, right? The cop is like, why'd you pull over? He's like, I'm tired, or something like that.
Yeah.
I have to rest my eyes. Um, and then he makes a play for his gun and like shoots, or he's armed himself and he shoots him, and this is sort of the linchpin for Archer's whole descent into vengeance and retribution because she observes this whole thing basically, and now she's something traumatic like this happens. I imagine you go on leave from duty as a police officer, right?
Yes, and by the way, did my little brief search, and yes, that was indeed Venom's version of In League with Satan. So that
Right.
was cool.
But that's the only inclusion of an actual heavy metal song in this whole movie. And this movie is rife with satanic metal imagery. And you got a character who looks like he used to hang out at Lemore's. You know what I'm saying? And like it's it would I think if he had something cool playing on the stereo system when he pulls over, and the movie could have had, you could have had a cool like soundtrack for this film, I think.
You missed one other song, Mike.
What other
I'm very
song? Maybe I was like
surprised.
looking at
You
my
missed
phone or something.
one, and it was a song that I actually thought was coming because of the phrase "open the gates" that kept being used 800 times. And they did, in fact, use Dark Funeral's "Open the Gates,"
Oh, okay.
which
See,
is
all
one
right.
of their best songs.
I'm gonna
Yes.
say one thing now.
Uh-huh.
My mind started wandering about midway through this movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got two legit black metal songs, Venom and Dark Funeral. And thank God they used the Dark Funeral. They kept using that open gates phrase repeatedly. And I'm like, is the song going to be in this movie? And sure enough, it was.
Yeah. So okay, so that's the setting for this thing. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, you know, the slasher is on this like interstate crime spree, and they're triangulating, they're sort of predicting like where he's going, okay, like what his trajectory is across the country.
Hmm. Um, that's the thing. Okay, heavy metal with the horror movies. Okay, very hit or miss, right? It's either done in a way where it's fun, a la Trick or Treat,
Yeah.
and couple other movies here or there. It's done where it's serious and it's done well. River's Edge, and then you got I don't know, you got this, and
Yeah.
I'll just let it out of the bag. Wasn't the biggest fan of this movie.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
there
started
you go.
drifting pretty early in this film.
Mm.
I just want to call to mind like 8 millimeter had a pretty tasteful use of actual songs in the soundtrack.
Mm. No, I mean, look, it's not all bad out there. But the thing is, again, I think if they'd made some changes to this movie, it could have went in a couple of different ways. It could have went a little better. Um, I just think at about the maybe a little less than midway point, it just becomes like a slop fest, like ridiculous fest. Like I don't know, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, I mean, so as he's crossing the country, he's like killing people for various reasons. In one case, he kills a pharmacist to get antidepressant drugs. He's getting blood from a Catholic priest because drinking blood is part of his ritual. Um, yeah, so he's heading east basically, and we're slowly uncovering what his like goals are as the movie goes on. And it turns out that he uses the classified ads to communicate with other members of this like loosely organized satanic cult.
Hmm. That's the thing. I think uh, there are some horror movies that I think that go a little bit more the serious route that I feel like the satanic heavy metal thing comes out a little better. This one, look, don't get me wrong, it actually starts out really solid, I thought,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I thought I was getting a little more of like a slasher serial killer thing, whereas he's just happens to be kind of this metal guy. But then it just, I don't know, man. It loses like its luster, and it gets goofy. That's the word
Yeah,
I'll
it
use.
got really,
The
really
word
goofy.
goofy, right?
Yeah. This dude's wearing sunglasses at night as he drives through unlit streets.
Mhm.
Which is, that could be cool, wearing sunglasses at
Mhm.
night
Yeah.
occasionally. Um, One of the things that I did, and this movie was definitely not capable of delivering this, but I think that the satanic metal element, the satanic murder cult element with heavy metal could really work well, and what I thought, there were hints of this cult being like sort of like a order of nine angles or something, where it's like, chaos and anti-cosmic sort of Satanism, and how that, because that does, like, anti-cosmic Satanism is like a big part of, like, like dissections, and Wateen's, like, philosophies and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like any kind of movie director or horror director would have to really kind of dig deeper and do a lot of homework and I don't know, be well versed in that kind of stuff, or maybe even well versed in black metal for all that matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like this might have just kind of they kind of maybe dipped their toes in it a little bit, and I don't know, a little half
Well,
baked.
and that's my biggest gripe about it, at least on, like, the writing side of things, is that I don't think that in this day and age, in 2026, you can't just gloss over that stuff without taking a deeper dive into it. Otherwise, the film just comes off as being really cheesy. Like, it's not enough to have like a pentagram and like an upside down cross, and make references, and
Yeah,
and the dude was actually, he was in a band too, like he played in a death metal band, and
right,
like, you need
right.
you need to come across with more than that, what I'm trying to say, to make it interesting.
Hmm. There were some really cool kill scenes, like the priest killing scene was actually really cool, I thought. And then where he kind of drinks the blood, like I thought that was pretty sick. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But I felt like it was almost like from there on, I don't know, like it just once he gets to the party, as they say, yeah, the movie was done for me. I felt
yeah,
like,
yeah. So, through the classified ads, he reaches out and he tries to get someone to help him, and he's looking for this guy Pendleton, who's played by
Mhm.
Malcolm McDowell, who's, some rich guy who, in his mind, he thought would be, uh, you know, more, evil, like, actually someone who would be involved, like,
Right,
deeply
right, right.
into the philosophy of, all this, like, occult sort of stuff that he's into. But, he's just like some rich dude who likes to have young people around him and partying and all this other stuff. So he connects with the guy's assistant, who's this dude Marvin, and kind of manipulates him to put him in contact with Pendleton. So they bring him into the, this mansion, and I
Hmm.
forgot how the guy made all his money, but he's like a rich guy.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's Malcolm McDowell. I feel like, look, man, he's the legend guy, but I mean, I guess he must have a lot of bills to pay or something because I
Yeah.
can't believe he's making movies like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
rough.
especially knowing that the guy who wrote this wrote Seven and
Right?
8 millimeter. Like, Seven had a, there was like that was a dark fucking movie, man. And it had like a philosophical element to it. And that's kind of what I was hoping this movie would be. Like, I really thought, like, with that guy at the helm in the writing department, that I'm like, oh, it's about Satanism and murder, and, and
Hmm.
heavy metal, and maybe there's like something I can appreciate in the film. Like, I thought that maybe, like, this would go into like some of the darker philosophies of, with Satanism, and and the sort of the chaos element. That's what it would all be about. Because there's, like I said, the order of nine angles is about just chaos, essentially. But
Yeah,
that doesn't need to get touched on. Nothing. There's no. The only goal that this dude has is to get in touch with the manager of a nuclear power plant in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to
hmm.
you know, detonate the plant and create like a gateway to hell. So yeah, so that
Yeah, like I thought that was not a good plot point. I don't know. Like I just was like, I mean, okay, it was like a suicide mission, the gates of hell to appease Satan and this and that, and blah blah blah. But like I felt like it jumped the shark from that party scene. Although the killing of everybody at the party was cool, I just was like saying to myself and probably out loud, like, "Oh, come on, Malcolm McDowell, you could do
yeah.
better." You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's yeah, he was out of place in the movie. You know what I mean?
um, like basically, like Malcolm McDowell wasn't like the real deal enough for the slasher, and that's probably why he went on to kill all of them. And like I think he was expecting the real deal, and these were people that just wanted to do drugs and bang, basically, Michael,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
basically.
And, you know,
But now
uh,
Georgina Campbell, the main character, we know her from Barbarian
yes.
and
Um,
a bunch of some other films too. The Watchers, she was in that.
yeah,
Um,
this is no barbarian.
yeah, that's what. See, I guess that's where I was like, that's the hook for me. Was like, oh,
Mm,
the guy that wrote Seven wrote this. It's got Georgina Campbell, who's kind of like after being in Barbarian, you're like, okay, she's doing good films,
mm.
and this was definitely you know a paycheck, I'm assuming, but I don't know how big of a paycheck it could have been, but
Yeah,
definitely
like
not some of
mm,
her best work. She was also in that film. Well, actually, I did that film, Lovely Dark and Deep, was like not so great either.
it's funny. I actually didn't even really realize that this was the girl from Barbarian at first.
Yeah, it was the same lady.
Um, the other thing that this movie does, I mean, I don't know, like her like fighting the killer. I don't like,
Unrealistic.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
I think
dude,
I'm
this dude's like,
getting,
he's like 240 pounds, like 6'5", and she's like, well, like
um,
a buck
I'm
20
kind
maybe.
of, I'm kind of over the whole like suspension of disbelief with some of these girls that weigh a buck 40 and beating up dudes that are 300 pounds. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know. But, and she's pregnant. And look, there's good ideas in this movie. I did like the beginning. It starts very strong, but like you, I got distracted. I actually watched it at about, it took like two and a half times to kind of watch this movie. I got to be honest, like two and a half literally times to really get through this movie. Um, I the whole satanic heavy metal thing is just again, if it's not done a certain way, it's silly. And this is coming from a metalhead. This is coming from someone who, it has seen quite a bit with these movies. Um, I would have been rooting for it if it went a different way, as they say.
yeah, definitely. I was after a while I got bored in this movie. Also, there was no real tension either. That was the other aspect that
No,
okay, if you're gonna write a bad story, at least create tension, and there's none of that.
um, it's maybe some at the beginning, like again at the beginning, um, when it was more of like a decent kind of slasher movie. I thought some tension, some, and again, I like some of the kills. But yeah, it just kind of lost me at a certain point, and the movie kind of just went down the toilet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, but it is kind of wild that this is from that screenwriter of Seven.
Well,
I mean,
the only thing I can think is like, all right, so if this was in production for 7 years, right?
mhm.
Who knows how many rewrites and revisions to the script happened before it was actually made? I mean, I'm giving this guy
Yeah.
like a big get out of jail free card because he wrote 7 and 8 millimeter, which I thought were two of my, they're in my
Mm.
top 50 movies, probably those two films. Um, So that's all I can say is that it was in production for 7 years. Fred Durst was going to direct it at
Mhm.
one point, and then
Mm.
how many different rewrites do you think there were before it actually got made? Who knows? And maybe somewhere in there
Mhm.
is maybe there's the heavy metal part isn't wasn't even originally part of the story. Who knows?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm giving this guy
True.
a lot of leeway here when I'm saying
It may
these
not
things.
resemble what it could barely resemble what it
Yeah,
was supposed to be at this point. But I don't know about that. I mean, it was in theaters, it came out, decent cast. It
yeah,
might exactly be what it was supposed to be, you know?
yeah. I just can't reconcile that this dude wrote those scripts for movies that I enjoyed. You know what I mean? And this is
Yeah,
it
that
has
is
to be the
wild.
director, man. The director's his first time directing a movie, so
Mm.
it's got to be some. I'm going to put the blame on the director. Fuck him.
Uh, yeah. I mean, what do you score this one, man? It's tough.
I'm going to say
Yeah, I guess
two
it's
out.
not that tough.
Yeah, I'll say 2 out of 5, man. Like if you're like if it's late at night, it's on Hulu, you come home, you're bored, you don't feel like going to sleep, put it on. It'll put you to sleep.
True. I mean, like, three it's worth seeing, and I don't know if it's really worth seeing. I'm giving it a 2.5. I don't think
Oh
you need
wow.
to see this movie.
Higher
No,
than
I
me,
don't.
man. Okay.
Unless you're a Malcolm McDowell completist, which there
Yeah.
are some people who probably are. He's got quite a fan base.
If
Um,
if you're like hanging out, you know, like and you talking to someone else and you have this on in the background, maybe it's good, you know?
mm,
I don't know, man. Or if you come home late at night, you're like you're out and you got nothing to do, you don't feel like going to sleep, turn Hulu on and you'll see it.
mm.
Then you'll fall asleep halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, like 2.5. When was the last time I gave anything a 2.5?
Me neither, man. I generally find something, at least out of the movies that we pick, I'll try to find something I like about it. I think Primate I gave like a 2 or a 2.5 or something, maybe.
Mhm.
I really didn't like that one either. But
Yeah, I like that a little more than you for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But
You
generally,
know?
I try to find something, and even like the extreme music element didn't it made it worse for me actually.
Hmm. Yeah, they can't all be winners. I mean, so far, look, there's so much good stuff out there that I haven't seen, and sadly, I've seen some of the stinkeroos of 2026. But we got to fix that.
There's a lot. There's the year started off slow,
Hmm.
but it really is picking up steam, man. I think there's some good stuff coming out, and go see Obsession. Backrooms, check it out. Like it's
Of course, yeah.
definitely not for everyone, but and the undertone, I loved it. It's got my name all over that. That movie was like there's like two people in the movie and it's all
Hmm.
dialogue. So it's like very fucking minimal, very vibey. It's like shot like so creepily and it's like
Mhm.
there's a lot of darkness and shadows and everything. It's so good, man.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm going to see a bunch of these damn movies to get the taste of this one out of my mouth, as they say. But I don't know, listeners. Please let us know what you thought of this. I know some of you had to have seen this movie, so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's
there you go. Yeah,
that was Psycho
some
Killer.
episodes are on the shorter side because the movie's not very good.
Well,
But
not
it
only that,
is what it is.
not only was the movie not that good, there really wasn't a whole lot of plot to discuss either, man.
No, I mean we talked about the police thing, the fact that it was a husband and wife, uh, serial killer, satanic heavy metal, destroy the world, Malcolm McDowell, the satanic sex party. Yeah, I mean,
But
again,
even his whole goal of blowing up the blowing a hole to create a gateway to hell with the power
mhm,
plant. It's like make that more interesting. Maybe there's like
mhm.
some ancient city that the plant is like built on top of or something that is the gate to hell. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah, yeah.
make it interesting. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like all these elements are just strung together with no thought to connect them at all. You know what I mean? It was like
Mhm.
create a world that the story takes place in where things have some logic, and that's my biggest beef with this. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Oh wow.
Well, that was
Onward and
Psycho
upward.
Killer. Yep. All right,
Psycho
guys.
killer.
Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Catch you next time.
Dig this.